We have a very clearly defined M&A agenda. We know where we want to invest in, and we quite well known also the target companies in terms of they're typically family run and family owned. My name is Timo Tauber. I'm 42 years old and I'm currently a managing director for Fisman Investment. We are not a normal or usual corporate M&A party in the market. 4 years ago, we started Fisman Investment setup. We're not a typical corporate M&A department. We are a separate business area within a corporate structure, so within the Viessmann family holding. And we manage our shareholdings in a separate entity on a standalone basis. We do not integrate. That's why also the setup in the team is quite different to a usual corporate M&A team. So we have people working on the deal side, so classical transaction, origination, execution of deals. And then we have an operations team, a so-called operations value creations team, which is working with the portfolio companies on a daily basis. And on the side, we have a legal team working with us on M&A transactions, but also on steering the portfolio. So we have basically 3 pillars in the team. So guys who have a classical financial background, who do origination and execution of deals. Then secondly, we have value creation people. So very hands-on a daily basis, working together with the portfolio companies to enhance their performance. And thirdly, we have the legal guys who work with the M&A team, but also sometimes with the value creation team on portfolio steering, but also new M&A transactions. We have a very clearly defined M&A agenda, meaning we are organized in so-called 6 verticals, 6 investment platforms. We invest alongside, so we have clearly done our homework prior to setting up the Fisman Investment setup by establishing investment platforms where we are clearly saying that's the areas we want to invest in. So they're either following mega trends or they are closing offering gaps of the corporate structure. Alongside these 6 investment platforms, we invest. Meaning typically we are talking to family entrepreneurs, so it's less auction processes we take part in, or competitive auction processes. So we have very, very often proprietary deal situations where we are one-on-one with the founder or the owner of a business, the family business. And then for us, it's very easy to talk from a family entrepreneur to another family entrepreneur on a one-on-one basis and in order to execute deals. We do not integrate, meaning we keep the companies in their current form. So the brand stays the same, management stays on. I always say to the founders, day one after the transaction seems like the day before because we don't intervene. So it's not like we are enforcing ourselves on the portfolio companies. It's more like, let's go into a dialogue. What are the 3 to 4 key focus areas for the year? Let's focus on those. And if we can bring in expertise from the Fisman Investment setup or synergies from the Fisman Group side, that's great. If we do not find them, we try to develop the companies on a standalone basis. We do have a very extensive value creation team consisting of functional experts, but also generalists who work with the portfolio companies, but always on an as-needed basis and in mutual consent. That was an announced transaction with a company, district heating sector, meaning distribution of heating and cooling into buildings. It's an Austrian company based near Salzburg. Typical founder-led company, we always seem to find like 2 founders who started this business 15 years ago. It grew organically quite a lot. And why did they talk to us at this time of the development of the company? Because in essence, they started out as a purely Austrian company, but now they ventured into other European countries. They saw that the markets, especially due to the Russia-Ukraine war, is picking up. It's an accelerated speed of development. They see that Fisman is a consolidator in that space. We bought 3 or 4 companies in that space before. And so they clearly made the calculation for themselves saying, not in a defensive mood like, Fisman is a big giant who's like consolidating the space, but more like it's a family business. We do not have to sell a majority in the beginning. They only sold a minority to us. We're still in charge of the company, of our own fate, but we can collaborate with a much bigger brother or sister. And together we have much more probability of success than being on our own. And especially the international width of the Fisman Group is also very enticing because we can offer them market access to several countries, which they wouldn't wouldn't have been able to get in such a short space of time. So that's a typical kind of deal, founder-led. There is some situation why they believe Big Brother, Big Sister can help. There's a lot of flexibility on the deal side, so we didn't buy them 100%. They can still, obtain a majority position and sell it later on with a probably increased value. And certainly they can also hand it over to the children if they want to. So it's a quite an attractive offering. And they have the backing of an international company, which made it a perfect fit for both sides. To me, it's always to getting to know the founder for the first time. When we approach businesses, we have a hypothesis why we approach a company. We have a certain, picture in our mind how the company is performing. You hear a lot in the market about company, its market positioning, its products and solutions, technology, sometimes even about the founder, what his personality is, his characteristics are. And then meeting this person or meeting this company for the first time is always a very nice reality check to see whether your hypothesis you had before going into this conversation is really true. And very often it is, and sometimes it's very nice to, very often it's very nice to meet the founder on a personal level in this kind of conversation, because in the beginning very often they're quite distant because they're insecure. It's selling their baby, basically, right? Their lifetime worth of work. And they want to make sure they partner with the right partner, because if you in this kind of situation you sell to the wrong party, it's quite a big step for them, and they want to make sure their employees are being taken care of. Who's the guy on the other side? What are the values of the other side? Do we match? Is there mutual trust? And that to me is always the exciting part, to get to know somebody and convince him to make a deal with us. We have great deal flow. We have a unique company culture, and we can actually see the development of the portfolio companies over a very long time, because we are not exit driven. Like I said, we do not plan an exit, so we can keep these companies for 30, 40, 50 years. Our CEO, Max Fisman, is 33 years of age, and he always says, I will be around for the next 20, 30 years for sure. And then the next generation is hopefully in the starting blocks. So we really have a long-term vision. And we are in a very exciting space, I believe, which is the climate tech space. So we can also really make, at least my feeling, really an impact on society, and especially on the question of CO2 emissions. So it's a combination of being in the right sector with climate tech, having a long-term view, having the values of a family business, and last but not least, having a very great deal flow, which allows us to execute on a lot of deals, especially in a very international environment. So it's not only deals in the DACH region, it's really global. So we go into North America, we went into Africa, Australia, and we did a lot of transactions in Europe. So it's an international environment we work with. So that's, I think, makes us unique and a great place to work at.